Good day, ladies and gents. Hi, it's Kay, and this is Kay Renewed's homemade shea butter and coconut leave-in. This recipe is based on Naturally 85's recipe with a few adaptations. I like to make my own leave-in conditioners, mainly because it gives me the control of knowing what's going into my hair, and if you want your hair healthy, you want to be making sure you can control what's going in. But I do this on a budget usually. I don't always have these ingredients. If I don't have all the ingredients that you're seeing up on the screen, I usually just use shea butter, coconut oil, and olive oil. I'm a minimalist, and you'll see that. So let's get started. You're going to need a bowl, some chopsticks, a tablespoon and a teaspoon. So the first ingredient I'm going to use is shea butter. You want unrefined shea butter. Here I've got 250 grams, and I just put it in the bowl. It was at room temperature when I took it out, and I'm just mushing it up with the spoon as much as possible to try and soften it up. The next ingredient I'm going to add is my avocado butter. This is a new ingredient that I've not used before, but I do love avocado in my hair when I do deep conditioners, so I figured this will probably work really well. Yeah, it was a little bit hard to get up the spoon, but this was also at room temperature, so it was quite soft. It's a little bit softer than the shea butter, and I'm just going to mush that in with the shea butter as well. So this is just avocado butter and shea butter mushed together with the spoon. It's the first time, like I say, that I'm using the avocado butter. You don't have to use it. I don't usually use it. Anyway, the next ingredient we're going to add is my favorite coconut oil. And this coconut oil is a little bit too liquid for what I would usually have it. I left it on the radiator to desolidify, and it actually kind of was too liquid, so I couldn't really measure it carefully enough. So really, I'll just tell you, I used about a quarter of that jar, and that jar was a 500 milliliter jar, so a quarter is about 125 mils of coconut oil that's going in there. And this time, rather than smushing with the spoon as I was with just the butters, now I'm cutting through the butters, using the spoon to cut through the butters and let the oils through. The next ingredient is your extra virgin olive oil. I like this because it's cheap compared to the other ingredients. Like, it's something you can easily get at the supermarket. You don't need to stress about it, about ordering it online and stuff. Usually most people have this in their kitchen anyway. And there I just added 2 tablespoons. If you want a bit more, do. I'm not expert on what proportions to use or whatever. Oh man, olive oil on my shirt. But I do like olive oil. The smell is quite nice as well, so if you want to add a bit extra, you can. And here you'll see I'm using my chopsticks now rather than my spoon, just to try and get a bit more air into the mixture. My next ingredient is gonna be my black castor oil. This is really great. I mean, for those of you who have edging hair edge issues, like your hairline is a bit thin, or your hair's a bit thin itself, in the bulk of it. Love the smell. I wasn't eating it, I was smelling it, just so you know. But for those of you who need a little bit of thickness and want to try and get your hair healthy, this black Jamaican castor oil is really, really great. And this one's called Extra Dark, and it has castor seed oil, soybean oil, carrot oil, sunflower seed oil, grapeseed oil, hemp oil, argan oil, and charcoal. It smells really nice, and yeah, I really love this product. So, and as you can see, like I say, I'm using the chopsticks instead of the spoon, trying to get as much air in it as possible to try and keep it airy. Okay, we have our next ingredient, which is the jojoba golden oil. Apparently this is a really good one because it's really close. It's really close to our natural hair sebum's makeup. but it is a little bit more on the expensive side. So here I'm just using 2 teaspoons. And if you want the mix to be a little more oil heavy, then I would suggest, if you're on a budget like I usually am, then you want to add more olive oil rather than the jojoba oil. Now I'm just going to keep using the chopsticks. The way I'm mixing this is the same way I would mix like a sponge cake. You know, when you're mixing a sponge cake, you want to get as much air in it as possible. You're trying to get it as light as possible. So this is the batter. Like your butters and all these oils are now going to be like a batter, and you're just going to be as hard as you can. A lot of people, including Natural 85 herself, use hand blenders. Oh man, I got a bit on my computer. I really am not good at this mixing thing. Anyway, a lot of people use hand blenders. I travel a lot and I don't necessarily have access to a hand blender wherever I am, and so that's why I've come up with this technique of using the spoon and the chopsticks. So the chopsticks, or whatever you want to use, needs to be something that will allow you to get the air in, just beat it up and lift it and get the air in. And the spoon is really just going to be to get the lumps of butter out. So what I'm doing here is just smushing the lumps, using the back of the spoon to smush the lumps against the back of the bowl and smooth them out. And I just alternate that for a while. But alternate between using your chopsticks to lift it up, get the air in, and using the back of your spoon to just smush out those big lumps. Okay, and next ingredient and final one is the tea tree oil. You don't want too much of this. I really like the smell of this. It's an antiseptic, antifungal. It's really just, it tingles a little bit on your hair if you have a lot on it, so you don't want too much, but I do like the feeling and the smell of it. And here you can see it's already a lot smoother, a lot lighter, a lot more batter like, because I've beaten it and mixed it for a while. And really, if you can't use a hand blender and you really want to get those lumps out, you're going to just take a spoonful at a time, use the back of the spoon to spread the mixture with the back of the spoon slowly and smooth them out, and then go a little bit quicker to just really refine those lumps, and then put that refined mix off to one side, and then scoop back from the unrefined mix and do the same thing. So use the back of the spoon and you're just going to smush the bigger lumps slowly and ease them out, and then as they smooth out you're going to go a bit quicker with the back of the spoon against the side of the bowl until that's really smooth, and then just collect that up. Don't let it get mixed in with the unrefined mix, and just put that to the side. So that's how it works. Okay, now I'm doing 2 leave-ins, so there's 2 that I'm going to package. There's the heavier one, which I'll show you how to package first. You're just going to take an empty container. I think that one had coconut oil in it. And again, I'm using a technique that I saw on YouTube, but I'm not really sure it was for me because I wasn't great at it. But this is just a plastic bag, normal sandwich bag, and usually you would need to roll down the sides so you don't touch the sides, because the more you touch the sides as you're spooning the mixture in, the more you're likely to waste. And you can see I was not good at this. This is not my skill, and to be honest, I think I would have done way better if I had just like taken a spoon and put it straight into the jar. I wanted to try it, so you know, like that's the way it goes. Anyway, so I'm just spooning as much of the mixture as I possibly can into my little sandwich bag, and once I've done that, I'm gonna find a little corner and get a pair of scissors and just snip off a little bit, and this is gonna make it into kind of like a icing bag, like the same way you'd ice a cake or whatever. And then there must be a squeezing technique. I don't really have the right technique, I don't think, because it looked kind of funky when I was putting it in, and yeah, it was not as smooth as I would have liked it to be. You can see my method is not great. There's like holes everywhere. Like I say, I don't think I would use that really, because I wasn't good at it. It didn't really make a difference. I think I would have been better just putting it in with a spoon. But try it, because it seems like a lot of people really like this method and it works really well for some. And then I'm just tapping it and turning it and tapping it to try and let the mixture go down. For the lighter daily leave-in, we're just going to add more of the same oils to the shea butter mix. So I've just got a different container there, slightly bigger, well, slightly wider, and I'm just going to take a huge blob, massive blob, awesome, of the Shea butter mix. I love the feel of that and the texture of that. It's really sort of creamy. And then I'm gonna take the Shea, the stuff that I love, my pure coconut oil. And here I'm actually gonna use, it's a little bit thicker now, you can see it's not as liquefied as it was. So here I'm just gonna use 3 tablespoons. So in terms of the proportion of coconut oil to shea butter mix, it's going to be 1 to 3. 1 part shea butter mix to 3 parts pure coconut oil. I'm going to add again more extra virgin olive oil. And like I said with this, if you want it a little bit more liquidy, this is the oil that I would usually use to make it a little bit more liquidy, because it's the cheapest one. It works really well, keeps your hair moisturised, it smells pretty good, it's easy to get, like, love the stuff. So there I just put 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and here I'm just going to add a little bit more of jojoba oil. Like I said, when I don't have access to things or when I'm really on a budget, I don't use all of these ingredients. My 3 basics are shea butter, coconut oil and olive oil. But, you know, if you can, let's add some health to your hair. So we're also going to add, after the jojoba oil, we're still going to add another teaspoon of the black Jamaican castor oil, which is only going to do your hair good, really. And that's it. So now I'm just going to take my chopsticks and gently mix in, because you don't want to get the oils everywhere like I kept getting everywhere on my computer, on myself, whatever. But you're just going to gently mix the mixture until it's mixed enough for you to go a little bit more rapidly, and until it's smooth and easy to drip, and that's it. So these are what the 2 mixtures look like. This is the lighter daily cream, that's a lot more liquid. It'll solidify a bit more with the coconut oil once it's cooled, and that's the fluffier and sort of heavier mixture, and I think that's it. So yeah, thanks guys, thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.